Can a franchise truly chase championship glory when the very asset they're counting on to fuel their trade ambitions is publicly unraveling before the league's watchful eyes? Good evening, basketball fanatics, and welcome back to the channel, where we dissect the calculated gambles, the locker room powder kegs, and the front office chess matches that separate contenders from pretenders in this unforgiving league. Tonight, we're diving headfirst into a situation that's gone from delicate to downright combustible in the span of just 72 hours. The Golden State Warriors, a franchise that's mastered the art of dynasty building over the past decade, now find themselves navigating treacherous waters with one of their most valuable yet volatile assets. And the latest report? It's thrown a massive wrench into their carefully constructed midseason trade plans, potentially derailing their championship aspirations before the calendar even flips to 2026. The Golden State Warriors have been walking a tightrope with Jonathan Kuminga all season long, desperately trying to maintain a harmonious relationship with the young forward. Why? Two critical reasons. First, to extract effective on-court production from a player with undeniable physical gifts, and second, to preserve his trade value with dreams of a blockbuster midseason deal that could vault them back into legitimate title contention. But here's the brutal reality. When reports of frustration or discontent from Kuminga surface, it automatically erects a massive hurdle in front of Golden State's hopes of building another championship-level squad. Whether that championship pursuit comes from Kuminga's own development into a consistent all-star caliber player, or from moving him for a more proven, reliable rotation piece that fits their win-now timeline. And folks, we just got hit with exactly that kind of report. According to ESPN's Anthony Slater, in a comprehensive piece published Thursday, Jonathan Kuminga reportedly felt like the scapegoat in his recent benching against the San Antonio Spurs last week, a decision that came on the heels of 5 losses in Golden State's previous 7 games. This isn't just locker room gossip. This is a public airing of grievances that send shockwaves through the organization, and more importantly, through every opposing front office that might have been considering making a serious offer for the 23-year-old forward. We're still less than 1 month into the new NBA season, yet we've already managed to witness the entire Kuminga experience, a microcosm that essentially encapsulates his entire career with the franchise since being drafted with the 7th overall pick back in 2021. Think about that for a moment. In less than 30 days of basketball, we've seen the tantalizing flashes of brilliance, the maddening inconsistency, the coaching staff's fluctuating confidence levels, and now, the reported internal friction. It's a greatest hits album of everything that's made the Kuminga situation so complex and frustrating for Warriors fans and management alike. Let's break down what actually happened here. Steve Kerr had publicly labeled Kuminga an entrenched starter less than 2 weeks before the benching. That's not casual coach speak. That's a public vote of confidence, a declaration that this young man is a foundational piece of your rotation. Then, suddenly after a rough stretch where the team went 2-5 over 7 games, Kuminga finds himself glued to the bench against San Antonio. Now, we can debate the legitimacy of Kuminga's reported feelings until we're blue in the face. On one hand, did he rightly feel slighted? Absolutely, you could make that argument. When your head coach publicly anoints you as a starter, then yanks you from the rotation during a losing streak, it's natural to feel singled out, to feel like you're bearing the brunt of collective failure. On the other hand, and this is where the harsh truth comes in, was this an obvious decision given the circumstances? The team's losing period had coincided perfectly with a rebirth of the same shot selection nightmares and decision-making issues that have plagued Kuminga throughout his first 4 years in the league. The forced drives, the contested mid-range jumpers, the defensive lapses, all the old demons came roaring back. Whichever side of the fence you sit on, here's what we can all universally agree upon. This scapegoat report isn't good for anyone involved. Not for Kuminga, not for Kerr, not for the locker room chemistry, and certainly not for the Warriors front office as they eye potential midseason moves. Here's where this situation transforms from an internal team matter into a full-blown organizational crisis. The Warriors desperately want to be in a position midseason where they have genuine optionality with Kuminga, the flexibility to either keep him if he's developed into a consistent contributor, or trade him if the right deal materializes that can push them over the championship hump. Instead, what they're facing now is the nightmare scenario. Feeling like they have to move him because of the mounting distractions and potential locker room issues that inevitably stem from these type of scapegoat reports becoming public knowledge. Let me ask you this. How are Golden State going to extract reasonable value for Kuminga at the trade table when rival teams can point directly to his reported frustration and his awkward fit within the Warriors system? Every opposing general manager now has ammunition to lowball their offers, to play hardball in negotiations, to suggest that Golden State is dealing from a position of weakness rather than strength. We already witnessed this dynamic play out during the offseason. The sign-and trade offers that materialized from the Sacramento Kings and Phoenix Suns were almost more about taking Kuminga off the Warriors' hands, doing them a favor, essentially, rather than giving up assets that Mike Dunleavy Jr. and the front office would actually want in return. Think about what Sacramento and Phoenix were reportedly offering: role players, late first-round picks, salary filler. That's not the return you expect for a 23-year-old former top 10 pick with legitimate two-way potential. That's the return you get when the entire league knows you're desperate to move a player, when they can smell the dysfunction from 3,000 miles away. And here's the kicker. If you're Jonathan Kuminga and your ultimate goal is to be on a different team by the midseason trade deadline, the absolute best way to achieve that objective is to build your trade value by playing exceptional basketball on the court and avoiding these types of reports that question your professionalism, your happiness, and your commitment to the team. Instead, what we're seeing is the exact opposite. The value is plummeting, the reports are multiplying, and the Warriors find themselves in an increasingly untenable position. The Warriors continue to navigate an extraordinarily delicate situation with Kuminga, something that was almost inevitable from the moment he signed that 2-year, $48 million contract after a highly publicized and elongated free agency process this past summer. Let's revisit that contract negotiation because it set the stage for everything we're witnessing now. The Warriors didn't want to commit long-term money to Kuminga at a higher salary. Kuminga and his representation wanted to test restricted free agency, hoping another team would extend a massive offer sheet that Golden State would be forced to match or let him walk. What we got instead was this compromise deal, 2 years, $48 million, that satisfied absolutely nobody. The Warriors are paying starter money without getting starter consistency. Kuminga got paid, but not at the level he believes he deserves, and now he's locked into a situation for another season beyond this one with a team that clearly has reservations about his long-term fit. That second year is crucial, by the way. It means Kuminga can't just play out this season and bolt in free agency. He's got another full year of this dynamic, this tension, this uncertainty about his role and his future. And for the Warriors, it means they can't just run out the clock and let him leave. They need to either figure out how to maximize his value on the court or move him before that value completely evaporates. The contract structure also creates fascinating trade dynamics. For teams considering acquiring Kuminga, you're not just getting him for a rental half season. You're getting him for this year and next, with the ability to negotiate a long-term extension next summer. That should theoretically increase his value. But when you combine it with these dysfunction reports, it becomes a double-edged sword. Let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture here, because this isn't just about Jonathan Kuminga's feelings or Steve Kerr's rotation decisions. This is about a franchise with a rapidly closing championship window, trying to maximize every single asset at their disposal. Stephen Curry is 36 years old. Draymond Green is 34. This isn't a team that can afford to wait for Kuminga to figure it out over the next 2 or 3 seasons. They need production now. They need players who can contribute to winning basketball in high-leverage playoff situations right now. The original plan, and it was a sound one, was to showcase Kuminga's development early in the season, build his trade value to its absolute peak, and then survey the landscape at the trade deadline to see if a deal materialized that could bring back a more proven commodity. Maybe a veteran wing defender, maybe a stretch big who can space the floor, maybe a secondary playmaker who can take pressure off Curry. But that plan only works if Kuminga is actually showcasing development. If he's making the right reads, knocking down open shots, defending with intensity, and demonstrating the basketball IQ that translates to playoff success. Instead, what we've seen are flashes of brilliance mixed with the same frustrating inconsistency that's defined his entire tenure. And now, with the scapegoat report going public, the plan is in jeopardy. Teams that might have been intrigued by Kuminga's upside are now going to be asking harder questions. Is this a maturity issue? Is this a fit issue? Is this a player who's going to bring drama to our locker room? Is this someone we want to invest in long-term? So, where do the Warriors go from here? They're stuck between the proverbial rock and hard place, with no easy solutions in sight. Option 1. They can try to repair the relationship, get Kuminga back in the starting lineup, and hope he responds with the kind of consistent, high-level play that rebuilds his trade value. This requires swallowing pride on both sides, having some difficult but honest conversations, and committing to a clear role and expectations moving forward. Option 2. They can explore trade scenarios right now, before the situation deteriorates further. The problem? They're negotiating from weakness. Every team in the league knows about the tension, knows about the benching, knows about the reported frustration. That means low-ball offers. That means giving up on the dream of landing a true difference maker in return. Option 3. They can ride it out, keep Kuminga in a reduced role, and hope that time heals the wounds while the team finds success with a different rotation. This is the riskiest path because it could lead to further deterioration of the relationship, more public reports of discontent, and a complete collapse of his trade value. None of these options are particularly appealing. Each comes with significant risk and potential downside. But that's the reality when you're trying to balance win-now urgency with the development of a young, inconsistent talent who doesn't quite fit your timeline. The Warriors' front office is going to earn every penny of their salaries over the next few months, because navigating this situation successfully could be the difference between another championship run and a disappointing early playoff exit. The Golden State Warriors entered this season with carefully constructed plans for Jonathan Kuminga. Plans that involve maximizing his value, maintaining organizational harmony, and positioning themselves for a potential championship push. Less than 1 month into the season, those plans have hit a significant hurdle. The scapegoat report isn't just a minor speed bump. It's a flashing warning sign that this situation could spiral out of control if not handled with extreme care and strategic precision. For a franchise that's built its modern dynasty on player development, smart roster construction, and maintaining a positive organizational culture, this represents a genuine crisis point. Can they salvage Kuminga's trade value? Can they repair the relationship and unlock his potential? Or are we witnessing the beginning of the end for a partnership that never quite lived up to its promise? The answers to these questions will define the Warriors' season and potentially determine whether they can squeeze one more championship out of the Curry era. One thing is certain, the dream of a blockbuster midseason trade just got a whole lot more complicated. And in a league where perception is reality, where whispers become narratives and narratives become truth, the Warriors are now fighting an uphill battle to control the story around one of their most important assets. What's your take on this Jonathan Kuminga situation? Do you think the Warriors can salvage his trade value, or is the damage already done? If you're Mike Dunleavy Jr., what's your next move? Repair the relationship or cut your losses and trade him now? And what kind of realistic return could Golden State actually expect at this point? Drop your analysis, your trade proposals, and your brutally honest assessments in the comments below. This is exactly the kind of complex, high-stakes situation that separates the casual fans from the true basketball minds, and we want to hear from all of you. And if this deep dive into the Warriors' front office dilemma has given you a new perspective, smash that like button and subscribe for more no-nonsense basketball analysis that cuts through the noise. Your engagement keeps this channel thriving, and we're building something special here together.